Hey everyone, today we're building a Python calculator from scratch. This beginner-friendly project will teach you functions, error handling, and user input. By the end, you'll have a working calculator that handles division by zero and invalid inputs. So let's dive right in. So first, we'll create a new file called calculator.py, like so. And we'll build this calculator step by step, starting with getting user input safely. Great. So in our next step here, we'll start by creating a function to get numbers from the user. We need to handle invalid input, like if someone types ABC instead of a number. We'll use a while loop and try except to keep asking until we get valid input. So let's start by creating our function here, getNumber. It needs to take prompt as an input, and let's see us also setting up this while loop because we want to trap the user until they actually give us a correct input. To capture any kind of validation error, we are using a try except. As you can see, it will throw a value error if the user inputs something that they shouldn't, for example, ABC. And here you can see we are testing that out. We are inputting some normal letters. And you can see the validation error, and now we're entering a correct number and we are getting a correct output. Okay, so now let's do the same for the operator. We only want to accept plus, minus, multiply, or divide. And here's how we validate that. First off, we start typing our function called getOperator. Then we define the variable valid operators that will now contain all the different operators that it's okay for the user to type. And like before, we trap this into a while true loop where we ask for the user input and we check whether this typed operator is part of the valid operators list. If it is, everything is good. If it's not, then we have a problem. So, like before, we are trapping the user until they do correctly, which is to enter a correct value, in this case, a correct operator. Let's test this logic as well. Like before, let's try to type an operator that is not valid and then one that is valid. Great, it seems to be working. Now it's time for the main calculator function. We'll take two numbers and an operator and then perform the calculation. The tricky part of this? Division by zero. We need to catch that error. Okay, let's create our calc function. It needs to take parameters a, b, and op for the operator. And the first thing we do is to convert a and b to floats. Once we've done that, we need to set up this logic where we test op against each of the operators to figure out which one it is and take the appropriate action. Also note how we are testing if the operator is division, whether b here is 0, and if it is, we should return this error text, and if it isn't, we let normal calculation happen. Let's take this for a spin and make sure that the end result is being assigned to a variable so we can print it. And now you can see within the terminal how we are running this, and we end up with something that checks out. So first off, we have a case where we are just typing normally. Then we have 0 divided by something, and finally we try to do division by 0, and as you can see we get the error text and we don't get a crash. So great job if you coded along. You built a calculator with proper error handling. You want to level up? Try adding some more operations like power or square root, or make it loop to do multiple calculations. Drop your improvements in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Python tutorials. See you next time.